Yo, what's up, everyone? Austin Smith here again with our editor-in-chief here at HoopSeen.com for another edition of Just a Minute. JY, hey, look, this weekly segment keeps getting better and better, man. And the question we always start off with is, how are you feeling today, brother?
I'm playing injured today, Austin. Playing a little injured. Got a little thing going on up here. Can't breathe very well. So I may not have much of a voice. Actually, I sound like a coach like in the fourth quarter, I think, is what I sound like.
Fourth quarter game on the line, man. You trying to call up a winning play, bro.
That's right. That's right. That's what I sound like. Hopefully we do win today.
For sure. Well, Jay, let's go ahead and get right to it, man. Let's not waste any time. We know you had the chance to go check out the historic Pangos All-American Camp. And hey, for all of our viewers and listeners out there, Pangos All-American Camp is a national camp, one of the most, if not the prestigious camp that invites some of the top players across the country to attend. And for us, JY, it was a treat because this is the biggest national camp we've had within the past 18 months. And you talk about having scouts there on the .com side and NBA scouts as well. So let's just get right to it, man. I saw you posted your top 10 guys from the Pangos All-American Camp on our site. Let's go through the guards real quick, JY, man. Who impressed you the most?
Yeah, it was a really good camp. And I think when you add all that, those opinion makers and those decision makers into the gym, the play is different. And so what we saw from that, we saw a real elevation of game from a number of guys, including these guys that we're going to talk about today. And I thought right out of the gate, the guard play was really good. Most camps guard play is really, really good no matter what. And I'm just going to start from the top. I really thought Ricky Isaacs Jr. was awesome. I thought he was the preeminent point guard. Thought he did a terrific job of spreading out the love. The hard part about going to a camp is sometimes, particularly this year, you don't know who you're playing with.
Yeah.
Right? You don't know who's going to be on your right. You don't know who's going to be on your left. And so in order to have good continuity across your team, you've got to have a great point guard. And I thought Pop Isaacs from Wasatch Academy from past season did a great job of being exactly that guy. He knew how to feed. He had probably two of the best players on his team who we're going to talk about today in this thing. He had Jalen Duren and he had Zion Cruz. So when you have those two guys around you as a point guard, you're probably pretty happy, right? You've got the best options inside and outside to get the ball to. And I thought Isaacs did a tremendous job of spreading the wealth all over the floor. And when it was time for him to stop and pop and shoot his three-point shot, which he's really, really good at, he did a great job at doing just that. I thought his energy level, which is always fantastic, raised the standard for which his team operated with throughout the course of the weekend, or the 3 days. I guess it wasn't the weekend. It was Saturday through Tuesday. I thought Ricky Isaac did a tremendous job. Loved everything that he did. And really, he came amped and ready to play. Fun fact, he left that camp. He's a Vegas native, or he lives in Las Vegas. He left camp and went straight to Creighton for an official visit. We'll have a story up on him probably on Monday, recapping a lot of his recruiting that he's got going on as well.
Nice. Good deal. Okay. All right, man. Cool. So we talked about the guards for a second. Anybody else, JY, that caught your eye by chance?
Yeah, a lot of guys. I thought Keonta George from Dallas, Texas area, Louisville, Texas, actually was probably one of the best scorers. He is the best scorer, I think, in the class of 2022. You know, he's interesting because he's one of those players. He just took an official visit to Texas,
right?
But you also had overtime elite there. You also had the G League there, and you also had I would say 20 to 25 NBA teams, maybe more. I don't know. But for my count, that's what I saw. And those guys were really interested in watching him play, particularly the G League and Overtime Elite. We're spending a lot of time watching him compete. He's got a Scoot Henderson vibe to him a little bit, his ability to score. I compared him more to a Bradley Beal. He's a little bit bigger, really big and strong. His scoring is effortless. It's effortless. And that's why I think for me, he's number 6 overall in our top 2020 or our top 100 for the class of 2022. I might bump him up a spot or two, honestly, because I think he's that elite of a scorer. And the game is so easy for him, just like it was for Bradley Beal. I think there's a parallel there that has to make me reconsider. Even when you're in the top 10, you can even still be a little underrated maybe. And I think Keonta George falls in that category. Just a tremendous dynamic scorer. And he followed up with the narrative of him that really kind of falls in line with him being probably the elite guy in the class when it comes to scoring.
Right. JY, let's talk about Colin Chandler, 6'4", 2022. What did you like about him?
Yeah, so Colin Chandler came to our Utah camp that we had back in October in Salt Lake City, our HoopSeen West camp. And I thought he was tremendous there. I thought he was tremendous when I saw him at every other event that I've seen him at. He had a tremendous year at Farmington High School up in Salt Lake, just north of Salt Lake. And he's been phenomenal every time he gets a chance to come to a national camp. He's an understated kid, pretty quiet, stays to himself, doesn't get too much in the hype, but his game is loud and his game is exciting. And his game, I think, you when you look at a camp like that, you can kind of take a scan of the court. You're like, okay, that's the dude. Colin Chandler's probably not that guy for most people when they sit down and look at a court. But by the time the game is over, like, man, who was that blonde-headed, curly-headed kid from Utah? That dude can go, and he's really athletic. He can really shoot. I love his passing. I actually think, we have him inside of our top 50 national, which I think is pretty high comparative to everybody else. I think he might be cracking inside the top 35, to be quite honest with you. Wow. A dynamic guard, and he's going to be an interesting player to see which coaches, and I think particularly from the Pac-12, are there to see him the very first day college coaches can get out. I think he is a foundational piece for a college program and will be an all-conference level college player when he gets there. I thought he had a tremendous camp. Love what he's about. Just an absolute, complete, total player guard on the offensive end of the floor.
Love it, love it, love it. And then real quick, Jay, to wrap it up on your list, we see you got Zion Cruz there and Anthony Black. Anything regarding those two?
So if you read my stuff on HoopSeen, you remember these two guys played against each other at our guy Kellen Buffington's opening day event back in the spring. I went there for Dallas, probably one of the best matchups I've seen this spring. And here they are at camp, and both of them thrived in this setting. Let's start with Zion Cruz for a second. Again, he played with Pop Isaacs, really a dynamic point guard who set Zion Cruz up for great scores. Zion Cruz, when he wants to go get a bucket, that dude is going to score.
Wow.
Okay, I'm going to go real old school. You probably weren't even alive when this dude was hooping. But you remember John Starks for the Knicks?
Absolutely.
Okay. You're probably just a YouTube watcher of John Starks. Probably in old NBA TV games. I think Zion Cruz has got a little John Starks in his game. Okay. Like he is an absolute tough scorer. He can stop and elevate and get a bucket from 3-point land. He can drive to the rim, take on contact, gets to the free throw line. He reminds me a lot of guys that played in the prime of the Big East back in the day. Big, strong, bucket seeker. I love what he's about. He's a hot and cold kind of guy. Sometimes he can go 4 of 17 from the floor, but he can also go 12 of 15 from the floor. He's one of those guys that on any given night, he's going to come at you. You just got to know how to defend him. But I thought Zion Cruz in the camp setting was absolutely phenomenal, and really is a guy that I think also that a lot of the pro teams I think we're taking a look at as well. And Anthony Black, and we've talked about him ad nauseum. He plays with 3D Empire. He's part of our partners, NY to LA, their association. We've seen him back at the opening day. We've seen him in Louisville. We've seen him here now. We're going to see him a lot in July. I thought Anthony Black, I've been saying it from day one, this guy's a 5-star, top 25 national prospect. He dominated the camp, I think, in every way that you can dominate with skill. And I think that's important at a camp like that. We saw the full package from Anthony Black. Passing was on point. Rebounding was on point. When it was time to score, he scored. Sometimes in a camp setting, and we know this from our preview camps, right? Sometimes the dudes can get a little ball hungry, right? And take over the ball and try to score every chance they get it. Anthony Black wasn't that dude. And I think he picked his spots where he needed to score. And I thought he did everything he needed to do to really prove to people that maybe didn't believe that he was a top 25 guy, maybe even move him down the rankings, which I think is asinine. And he looked like a top 25 national player. And I think he's a guy that we're going to see the power blue bloods come after. I think Duke is going to make a big push for him in July. I wouldn't be shocked to see new head coach new head coach Duke, John Shire, there in July at the Best of South to take a look at him there. So I think there's a lot of things with Anthony Black that I've seen since the spring that I think that narrative is really going to take some. I think the narrative of what the scouts and evaluators saw is going to meet the college coaches in the middle, and I think that's going to happen in July. I thought Anthony Black was absolutely phenomenal and really a great showing which was a great Texas showing from guys, particularly in the backcourt at the Pangos All-American Camp.
Man, there you have it, J-Watt. Thanks for that input on the guards, man. It's always pretty fun to hear about the good guards that came out in attendance at that Pangos All-American Camp. Well, right now, bro, let's go ahead and pivot for a quick second. And I want to talk about the bigs. And you mentioned that in this camp setting, the bigs were the strength of the camp, and you had some big fellas out there that dominated, and they were on your list of the top 10 as well. So let's go ahead and get right to it, man. Let's talk about the bigs who you felt made the most impact at the Pangos All-American Camp.
Yeah, I mean, you can't start a conversation about elite big man without starting with Jalen Duren, right? You just can't do it. He's the number one player in the country in the HoopSeen.com rankings for the class of 2022. Dominant season at Montverde Academy. Dominant season back in Philadelphia when he played up at Roman Catholic. And I think he's just a guy that gets better every time you see him. The thing that impressed me the most, Austin, he's a tremendous elite passer. His feel for skill And I think that comes after playing for Montverde. I mean, we've seen so many great players coming out of there. Like, look at Scotty Barnes. Scotty Barnes was always an elite passer, but he goes there to Montverde and really just takes it to another level. Ben Simmons played at Montverde. So you have all these guys with size that knew how to pass that played at Montverde over the years. Jalen Duren, physically, there's a Dwight Howard component to him that makes you think about him, or even like a Bam Adebayo, like a big physical, strong guy. But then he's out here passing like Magic Johnson almost. No, I shouldn't say that. That's a lofty thing to say. But he's out there passing in a really skilled level that it's hard to deny his overall feel. And I think that's the thing for him as the NBA guys. I think they were excited to see him, and they haven't seen him play. If they did see him play, it was at USA Camp a year and a half ago. His body's changed tremendously since then, right? And he looks like a guy that's ready to play in the NBA right now, like legitimately. But then you see the skill package that comes with him. It makes you start to think a lot more about him and his value that transcends over to the NBA level. The one thing with Jalen Duren, I think we saw a lot of three-point shooting from him, and he knocked down some shots, but I think the overall offensive skill package is still the area. If you can be the number one player in the country and still have a lot of room to grow, I think that's the area where he can grow the most. But dominant performance, I thought he was my MVP. Pretty easy choice because he's just the GOAT of this class, I think, and can come at you in every category of basketball that there is. You know, the thing with him, Austin, team finals is a scary team out there. They're going to be playing the Nike Peach Champ this summer. A lot of people have them the number one team in the country. I can't deny that because of the talent. Opposite of Jalen Duren on that travel team was Derrick Lively. He was a 7-footer.
Yeah.
Right?
Twin Towers, man.
Right. He's over at Westtown School. That's where Mo Bamba played. That's where Cam Reddish played. And so he's over there now at Westtown. 7-footer, really long, really athletic, tremendous rebounder, tremendous shot blocker. When you walk into a gym, immediately you're like, oh, who's that guy? Right? Because his size is so unique to this class. Actually, to that camp, there was a number of big guys that were out there. But I thought Derrick Lively was tremendous and really a guy that I didn't have to think about it too long, but I moved him into our top 10, and part of me wonders if he needs to move up to maybe like 7, maybe 6, maybe 8, somewhere in that category. But a tremendous guy that I think a lot of NBA guys are going to be watching pretty closely, and I'm watching closely to where he wants to go to college. But I thought Derrick Lively really stepped up and lived up to his billing. You know, a guy that we talked about a lot, I think maybe a month ago now for our Bob Gibbons Just a Minute. Was that a month ago?
It was.
I think it was
last month. Yeah, almost a month ago. Yeah, time flies.
That's probably the last time I had a full voice was a month ago. I thought Ernest Uday was phenomenal. Yeah, he came to camp, and I was like so excited to see him play, and he thrived. We've seen him pick up big offers like the Blue Bloods, like Kansas, and some of these other powerhouses that are coming through. So. Yeah, totally agree with you. And we were all excited about what we saw from him at Bob Gibbons, where he had that game-winning dunk, really, that put them over the edge for Southeast Elite as they won the championship. But I thought Ernest from Dr. Phillips High School in Orlando is a guy that I think the more people see him, the more people are going to even think about him, maybe even cracking that 5-star status, honestly. Like, he's so big, he's so strong, he's so dominant. And the thing with him is he's starting that upturn at the right time as we're going into July. I think he has a monster July ahead of him. We're going to see him at the end of our calendar in July, the July 23rd through 25th at the Grassroots Basketball Summer Championships in his hometown in Orlando. Can't wait to see him there. Can't wait to see which coaches are going to be following him there as well. But I thought Big Ernest, and the one disappointment I had from the camp is I politicked really hard to have him play Jalen Duren in the All-Star game because they had 12 teams, so every kid couldn't play against each other at the camp. I was really hoping we get to see that. They end up on the same team. So I was a little disappointed in that because I want to see him and Jalen Duren go after it. But Big Ernest, man, hats off to you, man. Keep doing it. I thought he was phenomenal. I thought he was phenomenal at camp and really continues his big uptick. Another guy that we saw in where were we? In Louisville for the Grassroots Showcase was Big Vincent.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not even trying. I was mispronouncing.
I got you. Iwachukwu?
Thank you.
There we go.
I think I can't say it because I got this head cold going on.
I got you.
But Big Vince was phenomenal on the offensive end. I thought he did a great job of using size. I thought he shot the ball really well. I still think there are parts of his game that he's going to have to get better at, where I think a lot of his stats kind of came in junk time. A lot of games were 20-point blowouts, and so he got a lot of business done in the time that really didn't have as much of an impact. But I think his long-term value, a lot of NBA guys were really excited about what he is and what he brings to the table. Let me wrap it up because I'm running out a little. The voice box is shutting down on me.
All good, bro.
I was most intrigued by this kid of any kid in the camp. It was Taylor Bull Bowen out of Brewster Academy, class of 23 kid, 6'9". I thought he was the most versatile player at the camp, like tremendous. I talked to more college coaches after camp about Taylor Bull Bowen than any other player that played at the camp. Interesting story. So he was born in Egypt. He was left there when he was 3 or 4 years old, was adopted, moved to Vermont, small town Vermont, went to school there, and just kind of came up. And now he's going to finish his high school career at Brewster Academy, a powerhouse program coached by my good friend Jason Smith. And I thought for me, he was the guy that I literally knew nothing about him. And that because I just haven't seen anybody from the Northeast in a year and a half. And so to be an underclassman on top of that, there's guys I don't know about, right?
Yeah.
I loved him. I love everything about him. From what I gathered and talking to people that are around him, high character guy. We're going to see a lot of high-level schools going after him. You can kind of read between the lines of what kind of programs that may be that are going to come after him. Like I said, I'm not kidding. I probably talked to 10 programs, high-level programs about him yesterday or 2 days ago, I guess it was, or whatever day. I don't even know what day we were even posting this, but it was after camp was over. I had a lot of conversations about Taylor Bull Bowen, a tremendous prospect and a guy that I think we're going to hear a lot more about. And again, he's probably rated nationally in other places. I've just never seen him. And that's just maybe a little ignorance on my part, but I thought phenomenal prospect, a really impressive young man, and a guy that I think outside of basketball, we'll probably hear some great things from him as just a human being in the world when he becomes an adult. So big time stuff, but lots of stuff. I just want to kind of run through our top 10, Austin.
Yep,
I'm out of voice. I'm out of energy. I need to go take a nap.
Bro, you already got here, man. You did a great job, bro.
I know. Now I'm done. But anyway, it was great, man. And I'm excited to see how all these guys now take what was a great starter for the summer in June. Mm-hmm. A lot of guys are going to go back to their respective teams. Some of them may play team camp in June, but obviously all of our eyeballs are on July, and what a huge July it's going to be.
For sure, man. Jay, did you want to run through that top 10 real quickly, brother? I don't want to hold you, man.
Why don't you run through it and save my voice here?
Okay. All right, cool. Let's do it. Well, first, man, like JY just mentioned, on the top 10, he's got Ricky Isaacs, Pop-Up Isaacs, 6'2", 2022 from Massage Academy. Keonta George from the iSchool in Texas. Colin Chandler from Farmington. Zion Cruz, 6'5", from the Patrick School in New Jersey. Anthony Black from Capel, Texas. Jalen Duran from Montverde. Derrick Lively, Westtown and Bellefonte, Pennsylvania. Ernest Uday from Dr. Phillips in Orlando. Vincent Uwachukwu from La Louvière in Indiana. And then Taylor Bull Bowen from Brewster Academy. And I think that's New Hampshire. Top 10 right there. There you have it.
Not bad.
And you all can check that out, man, on HoopSeen.com again to check out JY's endless and the rankings. One last thing, JY, man, July is coming, bro. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm too.
Quick preview for everyone. What do we have to look forward to in July?
Yeah, so these are 4 live period events that we're running in July. Best of South, downtown Atlanta, July 8th through the 11th. You got to be there. We got teams literally from all over the world. We had a group from Spain sign up, bringing 4 teams from Spain.
Yes.
Spain, España, vámonos. I love it, man. I love it. I can't wait. So that part I'm really excited about. We know about the Best of South. It is in the epicenter of college basketball recruiting. Every single college that's coming, that's going to be recruiting guys who are coming through downtown Atlanta. We are literally 10 minutes away from the airport. All you got to do is even get on that MARTA, man. You don't have to worry about that rental car. You don't have to worry about Uber. You take the MARTA. You can take you from the airport right to the front steps of the Georgia World Congress Center. You can be there and get a lot of work done. You can go out to up to north part of Atlanta, go to Under Armour. You can go out to Alabama, out to Adidas, and then the week after is a lot of things going on all over the South as well. So really excited about Best of South. We're loading up on that. We're even way ahead of schedule from where we've ever been. This will be the largest Best of South we've ever had. I don't want to say this. We've sold out of every event that we've ever done. With capacity, we have capacity for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of teams. But, man, we may sell out of this sucker, Austin. Like legitimately.
Tell them how it is, man. It might happen.
It might happen because we got our friends from NY to LA and Ohio basketball also bringing teams down for that as well that are partnered with us in that event. But this is going to be a monster event. We got teams from all over the country that are coming in. So get registered today because legitimately we may actually sell out. We may actually sell out of a 700 plus team event. So anyways, so there's that. The week after that, we've got 2 events going on. We'll be here in Phoenix at the Valley Gym up in the North Valley or the West. I'm still trying to learn what valleys are which valleys out here in Phoenix. It's on the northwest side of town up in Surprise. We're going to be using Ottawa University up there and multiple high school courts over there. It's a showcase style event. Make sure if you have any questions, hit me up, or if you know Justin Vargas, the show out here in Phoenix, he's helping me out and coordinating a lot of the teams for that as well. And then we're going to be up in Louisville. We're going to be back in Louisville at the Kentucky Expo Center, man. That thing is a monster. That's going to be phenomenal. Go register for that today. We've got teams from the Midwest. We've got teams from the South. We've got teams from the Northeast. We've got teams from out West, teams from Texas. I mean, it's going to be loaded. It was just going to be just as loaded as it was, I think it was, that we had in the spring. Very excited about that. That's a tremendous place, actually, for your program. If you're an independent team, that's a phenomenal opportunity for your program to be there in Louisville and play every game under one court. College coaches know it well. They've been going to that facility for years for live period events. The ease of use, you have to look at the ease of use for July. And I think Louisville is phenomenal. We're literally across the street from the airport. I mean, you don't even have, like you're literally like 0.5 miles from the airport. So like the logistics of Louisville are phenomenal for your program to get there. If you're a college coach and you're still watching this, get over there. I think that's a tremendous opportunity for you to get a lot of work done. If you college coaches have to allocate X amount of time because there's only a certain amount of days. There's 3 days for this life period. If you're a college coach and if you've got like a small staff and you're trying to really like manipulate your budget to make it work for you, spend Saturday in Louisville. That's it. And you're going to get so much work done in one day because of the amount of games under one court. Tremendous opportunity for coaches from every single level, from the lowest level junior college to the elite level high major school. We've got every level of player that's going to be under that roof. And I think it could be a really huge opportunity. Same with Best of South. And then wrapping things up at the end of July 23rd through 25th, the Grassroots Basketball Summer Championships is going to be freaking amazing. It gets better every time I talk to people. When I was at Pangos, people are like, man, I think that thing's going to be really good. Here's why. We got all of our top teams from the HSA, the HoopSeen Association. We got all the top teams from the NY, the LA Association. We got not all of them, a majority of the top teams from the Hoop Group Summer League that's going to be there with us. Ohio basketball is going to have their team. We're going to have a number of Adidas teams that are going to be there as well. Here's the kicker. Well, I'm not going to say the kicker. I know we got a kicker. We got a kicker, Austin. So July 23 through 25, Orlando Convention Center. It's going back to the old days. We're finishing the summer off in Orlando, just like we used to do back in the day. I think it's going to be a tremendous event, which really puts an end cap on which I think is going to be an amazing, unforgettable July for every team that comes and plays with us this summer.
Sure, man. I'm excited. Hey, everyone, make sure y'all heard the man. Go register right now. Don't waste any time. These events may sell out. You want to be in the building. Yeah. We've got a loaded July for you. So do that now. Jay, I mean, I got to give you props. You did it, bro. I mean,
I did it. Now I'm like, got to go like the first aid kit. Something. I get something in here.
Tea, water, whatever you need, man. Well, look, everyone, thanks for tuning in to another edition of Just a Minute. As always, I'm your HoopSeen host, and the man next to me with a plan is our editor-in-chief here at HoopSeen.com, Justin D. Young. All right, Jay, we'll holla, man, and we will see you guys next week.
Thanks, Austin.